Welcome to this video about two new past tenses, the past perfect and the past perfect continuous. After watching this video, you will hopefully know how to form both tenses, how to use them, and what the differences are between the two. Make sure you have your syllabus of Unit 2 close by so that you can highlight, write down additional information, or copy solutions to exercises. We are currently on page 62. So let's get started. Let's kick off this class with a short history quiz. Now, each time I will show you two important events in history, and it is up to you to guess which one happened first and which one happened secondly. So, here we go. The first two events are the introduction of the euro in Belgium and the 9/11 attacks. So, which one of these happened first? Pause this video and think for yourself first, and then I will give the solution. So the introduction of the euro was actually in 2002, while 9/11 attacks already happened in 2001. So 9/11 happened first. Now let's create a sentence about this that you can write down on the bottom of page 62. So to summarize, before the euro was introduced in Belgium, the 9/11 attacks had already happened. Okay, the second pair of events. In the first picture, we see Columbus's discovery of America. And the second picture is a typical outfit that doctors wore while treating the plague. The plague is in Dutch the pest. So the question is again, which one of these happened first? Well, the plague killed a lot of people during the 14th century, while Columbus actually discovered America in 1492. So the plague happened first. So a sentence to summarize, before Columbus discovered America, the plague had already killed millions of people. Okay, the last pair of events. In this picture we see the pyramids of Gizeh. And the second one is the Colosseum in Rome. Now, which one of these was built first? Well, actually, the first one was the pyramids. They were built in 2580 before Christ, while the Colosseum was actually built after Christ, around 80, the year 80. So, before the Romans built the Colosseum, the Egyptians had already built the pyramids. Now, if we look closely at the sentences that we have created about these events, we have used only two types of tenses actually. Let's, for example, have a closer look at the last sentence we created. Before the Romans built the Colosseum, the Egyptians had already built the pyramids. So, to recap again, which one of these events happened first again? That was obviously the pyramids. And the one happening secondly is the Colosseum. Now, if we look at the tenses that we have used, then we can actually see that we have used a familiar tense that we already know for the second action of the Colosseum. We have used build here with a T, which is a simple past. Now, for the event that happened first, however, with the Egyptians, we have used another verb form, and this is a new tense to us. We have used had built here, and had built is actually what we call the past perfect. So for the thing that happens first, we have used the past perfect. For the second action, we have used the simple past. So what exactly is this new tense, the past perfect? Well, first of all, you form it by using had, which is the past simple of to have, and then you add the past participle of the verb that you want to use. So the result is something like had built, or had worked, or had eaten. Now, the past perfect has a very specific use. You use it for a past event that happened before another past event. So you have two events in the past, and for the one that happens first, that is the one that you use a past perfect for. If you, for example, look at the example sentence, when the police arrived, the burglar had already left. A burglar is somebody that breaks into your house and wants to steal things. Now, we can see that the first thing that actually happened is that the burglar left. That is expressed in the past perfect. The burglar had already left. And then after that, the police arrived because they were too late to actually catch the thief. And that event is expressed in the past simple. Now, let's prepare an exercise on this to further understand what the past perfect is all about. In exercise 8 on page 63, you each time get a situation. What you need to do is you need to explain what actually happened before that situation using a past perfect. So what exactly happened before the situation that is described? For example, Sarah got lost in New York. What maybe could have happened before that that made sure that she got lost in New York? Well, maybe it was because she had never been there before. It happened, or in this case didn't happen, before she got to New York, so you have used a past perfect here. Let's present a second one. For example, Keiji gave an excellent presentation. What could he exactly have done in order for the presentation to be so excellent? Well, maybe he had practiced his text a couple of times the evening before. Again, you have had practiced here, which is a past perfect. Now, I want you to do the same for the rest of the exercises and make sure that you always use a past perfect, explaining what could have happened before the situation that is described. Then pause this video and then afterwards, when you're done with your exercise, come back for some solutions. Now, I will show you some options as solutions to this exercise. Beware, however, because you can write down multiple things. There is not like one good solution. These are just possible solutions. So just make sure that you have always used a past perfect, however. For sentence 3, for example, the reason for the Cold War between Naomi and Ethan could be that they had had a huge fight the day before. And I know that had sounds very strange, but it is actually the past perfect of to have, because you first need had for the past perfect, and then you have put your verb to have in the past participle, so you get they had. For sentence 4, it is possible that, for example, he had forgotten his glasses at home. In sentence 5, then, a possible explanation is that he had called his friend in America too many times, because calling to another person in another country is actually very expensive, so that is why he was probably shocked by his telephone bill. In the last sentence, it is possible that Teresa had received some good news about her promotion. Okay, time to upgrade now. In the next exercise on page 64, which is exercise 9, you can find a short biography of the very famous scientist Einstein that you see in the picture. However, the verb forms are missing in here, and you can only choose between the past simple or the past perfect, which we have just discussed. Always ask yourself which event happens first, or do they maybe happen at the same time, or something else. And after you're done, use the correction key on Smart School to correct yourself afterwards. Now that you have an idea of what the past perfect exactly is, I think it is time for another new tense. And this one is called the past perfect continuous. Now, actually, this tense looks a lot like the past perfect, but there are a couple of differences. First of all, for the formation, you need again had, but you also need been, which is the past participle of to be, and you also need an ing form. So the result that you get is, for example, something like I had been working or I had been sleeping. Now, the past perfect continuous is used to show that something started in the past and it continued up until another moment in the past. So there's actually an added element of duration. So first, the first action does not just happen, but it lasts the entire time until the other past action that is mentioned. For example, if you say, they had been talking for more than an hour before Tony arrived, they started talking in the past, and they talked and they talked and they continued talking that entire time until another past moment, and that is the moment that Tony actually arrived. So there is like an added element of duration, de duur van de actie. That is the important thing here. So to further clarify the difference between the past perfect and the past perfect continuous, there is a schematic representation on page 65. So with the past perfect, basically you have two actions which happen in the past, and for the one that happens first, you use the past perfect. For example, when she arrived, the bus had already left, What happens first? The fact that the bus left. The past perfect continuous has that added element of duration, so your actions start in the past and they continue to happen until another moment took place in the past. For example, we had been looking for the wallet for 2 hours. That is your long action. And when does it stop? When Susan actually found it. Another moment in the past. Okay, time to put the theory into practice. So I want you to prepare exercise 10 on the next page. In this exercise, you can choose between the simple past, the past perfect, but also the past perfect continuous. In exercise 11, we're going to upgrade it even more because in this one, you can choose between all the past tenses that exist. There are 4 to choose from, the same ones as in exercise 10, so simple past, past perfect, and past perfect continuous. But also don't forget that you can also use the past continuous. Now, I want you to prepare these exercises yourself, and after you're done, you can go to Smart School, and under Documents, you will find a correction key for this. So make sure that you do all of these exercises and that you check for yourself. Good luck!